Whoa, so senior member of parliament for the Umkhonto weSizwe party is in hot water over 93 million rands worth of corruption, fraud, and money laundering. This is from 11 years ago when he was at Transnet. So I'm going to show you this in this video. And if you stick with me through the laughter, the crying, and all that good stuff in this video until my biblical reaction, I suspect that you will come out head and shoulders above the average person in understanding our problems, but more importantly, our solutions as a country. You may even at the end feel like sending the video to one of your Christian, especially black South African brother or sister and get their thoughts and take on it. So if you're ready, press like, let's go. So it all began 11 years ago.
Transnet has announced one of the biggest infrastructure deals in South Africa's history. The state-owned freight and logistics company announced it had awarded a 50 billion rand contract for the building of more than 1,000 locomotives. The winning bidders include CSR from China and General Electric from the US. It's part of a 300 billion rand upgrade to railways and ports to overcome freight bottlenecks. And that is one of the largest acquisition programs in the world. It says the award has stringent local skills development, BEE, and training commitments. Well, the locomotives will be built at a rate of 480 per year over the next 3.5 years. One of the successful bidders has a less than attractive track record with Transnet, though. China's CSR was awarded a contract for 2.5 billion rand in 2012 to build 95 locomotives. Last year, it was reported that the project was up to 6 months behind schedule, and the public protector was asked to investigate the fairness of that deal. Why is CSR included in this contract when I understand it was meant to build those locomotives from the previous contract in December, and they haven't even arrived yet?
Well, I'm hearing this for the first time from you, that the public protector is investigating.
It was widely reported that a complaint had been lodged about that contract.
I'm not aware of it. I don't know if anybody at Transnet is aware of what you're saying. I don't know where that comes from.
Okay, that is incredible.
We awarded a contract to build 95 locomotives to CSR last year, and the first 10 locomotives were to be built in China. They were built in China ahead of schedule, and they are all now in South Africa being tested. The 11th locomotive is to be built here at Kuduspoort. It is on track. It is being built. Locomotive 12, 13, 14 have also arrived in the country, and they are going to be assembled at Kuduspoort. There is no investigation from the public protector.
So is my information incorrect that all 95 were meant to be delivered by December, and we are looking at a 6-month delay?
No, there is no delay at all. All 95 are to be delivered by December 2014. By December, the first 10 were supposed to be delivered, and they were. There is no truth, absolutely no truth in the report.
All right, there has been speculation that government may be leaning towards Chinese bidders. This is obviously going to be political. It's one of the largest acquisitions in the world if you look at the whole plan that you have to upgrade infrastructure. Are you being very politically correct awarding it to Chinese bidders, to American bidders?
We have been doing business with General Electric for some time, and nobody has ever raised political issues, so I don't know where this comes from.
I was talking about CSR. I mean, General Electric itself has been...
I was saying GE, because you're not saying political issues when it comes to GE.
Sure, because those complaints were raised in relation to CSR.
If we move to
Mr. Molefe, we can go afterwards. I will show you at least 10 reports reported online about the fairness of that CSR deal. I will do that after this interview. I pledge that to you.
Okay, so Mr. Molefe sounded genuinely confused to me. Doesn't he sound genuinely confused to you as well? I mean, everyone had seen the reports and the news and everything, but he hadn't. I think he's telling the truth. You tell me below. You tell me below. In case, for some of you who don't know who Mr. Brian Molefe is, we come a long way as a country with Mr. Brian Molefe. When he then, 8 years ago, was at ESCOM, we got to laugh together.
No, but there's a shed in there. I think it's 2 streets away from the good house. Now, I will not admit or deny that I was going to the Shebeen, but because I haven't, my young wife is not aware that there's a Shebeen there. But there's a Shebeen there.
Now, we didn't just laugh together, but we have cried together.
What pains me the most is I never had the opportunity to explain what I'm saying now. So I forget to what I'm saying. Thank you.
Truly, Matansela has struck a deadly blow against us all and against the people of South Africa. If we lose Brian, she could taste the flame.
If you don't mind, we will just maybe give Mr. Molefe a chance to compose himself, and then we will take it from there. But for those of you who arrived late, I know there's
we will have a press conference tomorrow. So I don't think this is a day for questions.
all right.
You can't do this to us and expect us not to. Okay.
10:30.
So this is when he cried because he had to answer the public protector, Thuli Madonsela's report at that time that linked him with the then President Jacob Zuma in some shady dealing. So now, not only did we laugh and cry together, but we were confused together. Do you remember this? come a long way with Brian Molefe, but 6 years ago, the chairperson of Transnet, Popo Molefe, dropped some bombshells at the Commission of Inquiry into State Capture chaired by then Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo.
Chairperson, I identify the irregularities in respect of the acquisition of 100 locomotives. And I did say that already what was initially intended to be a confinement to Mitsui now shifted to become a confinement of the 100 locomotives to China South Rail. And this was not in compliance with the requirement of urgency, standardization, and highly specialized goods as prescribed by the policy and of course the Treasury regulation.
Was there any escalation of cost that raised concern?
It is indeed true that the acquisition cost escalated from 3.8 billion to 4.4 billion. And this memorandum was submitted by Mr. Brian Molefe, Mr. Singh, and Mr. Gama, justifying the increases. So I'm advised from the investigations that Transnet overpaid at least 3.47 million per locomotive, and at most paid 6.2 million per locomotive.
Overpaid?
Overpaid, yes. Overpaid by that amount, sorry. And the conclusion was that Messrs. Molefe, Brian Molefe, B.S. Gama, Singh and Gianni had failed in discharging their fiduciary duties in the acquisition of 100 locomotives for China South Rail. The fiduciary duties being one that requires care and diligence. And these are the things that show that willfully people could just ignore the rules.
So the matter he knew nothing about of buying from China, the investigation showed that they were paying 3 million, 6 million more per locomotive, times that by 100 locomotives or more. So then, latest news, Brian Molefe, Siabonga Gama, and Anoj Singh, ex-Transnet bosses, were granted 50,000 rands bail over fraud, corruption, and money laundering charges. Molefe and Gama, both former Transnet CEOs, were arrested alongside former Transnet CFO Anoj Singh and the parastatal's former engineering chief executive Thamsanqa Gianni on Monday after they surrendered themselves to police in Brackendowns, south of Joburg. Their bail was set at 50,000 each. The four accused have been charged with fraud, corruption, and contravention of the PFMA and Companies Act. The matter is related to Transnet's acquisition of 1,000 locomotives dating back to 2014, which were supposedly needed to meet a rail freight revival. You can imagine overpaying each of those by 3 million to 6 million, like we heard from the investigation. So, my biblical reaction: every soul should be subject to governing authorities, because the concept of authority or government is actually an appointment of God. So it is ordained of God. Now, what is the job of government? It's to terrify. That's what they do. They should terrify. Terrify who? Not those who do good works, but those who do evil works. Do you want to be unafraid of the government? Do what is good, and they will praise you. For he is God's minister to you for good. For if you do evil, be afraid, because the state has the right to punish wrongdoing. For he is God's minister and avenger to execute wrath on him who practices evil. I want to show you something here. This is all talking to a citizen. And it says the state does two things: praise and terrify. Good way to put it: law and order, and praise is incentives and rewards. Not the doing, but law and order against those who do wrong, incentives and rewards to those who do right. According to biblical thinking, government does not do. It rewards those who do good, praises them, and punishes those who do evil. If you listen to most Marxist thinking that South Africa has been taught by the ANC, most South Africans think of the government doing. Government must create jobs. That's called doing. They are not supposed to. They are supposed to praise those who create jobs. What does that mean? That means you give incentives and rewards to business citizens who are entrepreneurs, like many others out there. You give them tax cuts, you give them incentives, you make their life easy, and you praise them publicly, and you speak well of them, and you say thank you for employing all of our people. That's praise. And then the government is to police business, police our neighbors. That's what the military is for. Police and keep us safe from criminals among us, because they are evildoers. That is all that the government has spiritual authority to do. Let me show you something. Every country where the government does less prospers. Every country where the government does more, instead of punishing and praising, that country always suffer. Some of our heroes in Africa right now, I hear people say, this is a great hero of a president. I say, why? They say, he's done this, he's built that. Then I know it's going to end in tears. Not because I wanted to, because I know no one strays far from spiritual authority and does well. And if you go throughout the earth, China was poor, 50 million died of hunger. A man came in who would be considered a sellout in South Africa. His name was Deng Xiaoping. All he did, he got the government to do less and to praise those who do. That's why we have Chinese cars and everything else we get from China today. Look at it here. Therefore, submit yourself to every ordinance of man for the Lord's sake, government, as those who are sent by him for what? The first P is punishment of what? Evildoers. All the doing is done by citizens, not by government. And for the praise of who? Those who do good. All the doing is done by citizens, not the government. They are passionate about it. They will do better than any government department. Now, I know we live in complex societies where certain things like infrastructure, it's better that government does it, but it should be understood. Number one, a country with a high crime rate should sell every single state-owned enterprise to its citizens, because they're failing on the punishment and they're failing on the praising. Now, if someone is horrible at what they exist for, why would you give them extra work on top? If I woke up tomorrow morning and miraculously I have 51% of parliament, first thing I would do, I would sell every state-owned enterprise today. We will consider how to get back into any state-owned enterprise after the crime rate is the best in the world, after we are the safest country in the world, after every entrepreneur and South African thinks we are the best, most praising government in the world. And only once we've done well there, only then I will say, let's sit and think about what state-owned enterprise we can look into. Why? Because every time the government does, they are doing something that they have no spiritual authority for. But because we have been taught Marxism by the ANC, which teaches us that the government must do everything, and then they use black anger, black envy, black resentment to then take that power to do what they are not spiritually authorized to do. This is why unemployment is high, crime is high, everything is collapsing, and business is suffering, meaning poverty stays high. The closer we get to this principle, prosperity goes up. The further away we get away from this principle, poverty goes up. That's why I always say, no man can serve two masters. You will love the one and hate the other, or you will disrespect the one and respect the other. You cannot serve God and Karl Marx, because God shows us what's good, what's bad, what's right, what's wrong, what works and what doesn't work. Karl Marx replaces all of that with what's black, what's white, what's apartheid, what's not, what's revolutionary and counter-revolutionary. So you can't serve both. So let's make history together. Ding, ding. Make sure the bell is ring so you catch the next video. But I have not a single doubt in my heart that South Africa will prosper.